I came out this year.
Hey,
Yeah.
what was Biddy? Hey.
Whoa.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, what's poppin', Gamerinos? Welcome to the first episode of our E3 not coverage, because they've just spaced this all out over the course of 3 months.
Yeah, we streamed the PlayStation event over on our Twitch. The VOD is there if you want to see our live reactions. But we didn't. It was a good presentation, but there's nothing like super impressive there.
No, I wasn't on the live reaction. And we'll get into this more in detail, but I think it's probably the best presentation Sony's done in months.
I mean, that's a low bar to clear.
Yeah, like there's areas where they could definitely improve things, but like overall, I thought the presentation was pretty good.
It was very painless. The only painful part was when Gearbox came on.
Yes, and
absolutely. The only painful part is when they showed the console.
Yeah. Or those weird transitions.
You know, it's really funny because I put the Malo Mart music from Twilight Princess in the little opening bit, and Phantom was like, "This is Twilight Princess music." And I remember when Twilight Princess HD came out on the Wii U, and they changed the eShop music to that music. And I remember just having like this like moment where I was like, oh, yeah, this is a Zelda song. Because by that point, like, Splatoon had already come out, so I was like, oh, cool, they put Splatoon music in the eShop. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, wait.
Yeah, you can really see the origins of Toru Minigishi's Splatoon soundtrack.
Yeah, I was
that
like,
one song.
It finally dug into my brain at one point. I'm like, oh wait, it's that one really out of place track from Twilight Princess.
The best tracks.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But anyway.
Oh yeah, so PushDustIn is here. That's our guest for the week. Is returning.
It's been like a solid year since we talked, I think.
Returning employee, PushDustIn, founder and creator of Source Gaming.
Yeah, like the last couple months I've been like moving and shit and getting married and everything, so it's been rough, but like now things are kind of calmed down, so.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up because of the C virus. I couldn't
the state of the world.
Yeah.
Because of the state of the world, I couldn't go to your wedding that you promised I would be able to go to. Son of a bitch.
We were planning on having it for Christmas, but we're like right now we're just like, there's no way that we're gonna be able to travel in December.
Holy shit! Thank you for the $20, Ryo. Good morning. Get yourself some coffee. PS5's design is hot garbo. Not a big fan.
Thank you, surprise celeb Ryo. I was not aware. I was not aware.
Professional Smash player.
That's a Ryo moment, all right.
Oh my lord.
Anyway,
I was actually looking at like air conditioners for like the window that I could like install in my new office, and the air conditioner that's the top seller on Amazon Japan is called Corona.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Like that's the brand name, is just Corona air conditioner.
Oh no! Well, I bet no one's buying them right now. So
did you see that? Did you see that?
Has like a 4-star rating.
Did you see that one thread? Did you see that one thread that was like Captain America, First Avenger, predicted the coronavirus because he's in New York City and there's like an advertisement for Corona over one shoulder. It's like, shut up. So stupid.
I really like that wave of people not buying that specific beer. Just like shelves of just like the alcohol shelves are all empty except for that one brand, because people are people.
Well, I think
that's been a PR nightmare.
I think it led to like a reverse, like a boomerang effect, where like people were just buying it just because of the name afterwards.
Yeah,
Like they're.
And it's the irony.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Meanwhile, I've just been drinking White Claw because that's all that's in the fridge. I hate White Claw. I hate White Claw so much. It's so bad. Can we end the hard seltzer memes? It's not good.
I've been on that Asahi
have
binge.
been drinking water.
It's funny because hard seltzer is supposed to be
hardcore.
Hard seltzer is supposed to make you feel like cool and hip and not like an alcoholic, but every time I drink it, I just think, damn, I'm drinking watered down, bubbly, rubbing alcohol in a can.
Well, did you know that 5G causes corona?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Push, did you know saying that probably just got this video demonetized? Because the YouTube DeepMind algorithm was like, oh, cool, a conspiracy theory? No money for you.
So I want to talk about
5G does produce the that brand of beer, you know.
5G produces it.
I can't believe the company 5G, that's right, FIVEGEE, produces Corona beer. Wink. All right, so let's.
We're okay, YouTube.
Let's move on to the next part of the docket. Just kidding, we don't have a schedule ever. But this is the part of the show where we talk about what we played this week. Me, next to nothing, because I've just been sitting in a big comfy office chair and staring at video game commercials. But I will say one really neato thing that I played this week. So there's this kind of crappy... I wouldn't say that. That's mean. But there's this game that exists called Warface, and it's a Call of Duty clone, made by it's not by Crytek, but it's by like a subsidiary of Crytek. It runs on the CryEngine as one would expect, and it came out on like 360 PS3, and then they canceled the 360 PS3 versions like a couple years after they came out, brought them to next gen consoles. And then it was just like shadow dropped onto the Switch earlier this year. It's all right. Like as far as Call of Duty clones go, like usually they're kind of awful, but Warface actually manages to kind of feel like a real video game because it has like really good control and movement. So that's cool. That's fun. But they recently gave it like a big ol' update, and they added a version of Call of Duty's Kill Confirmed game mode. Which, if you don't know what Kill Confirmed is, it's team deathmatch, but everyone drops dog tags when you die, so you gotta pick up the dog tags and you get points. But they added their own version that's like not the same thing. It's instead like a free-for-all stealth action game where the whole game mode takes place in this large, open, nighttime map with like all of these like ruins of different buildings, and like the only light source are random lamps that will go on and off at random, and like a helicopter with a search flight passing by. It's kind of kick-ass because like the atmosphere is very like imagine a multiplayer game mode on the Ground Zero's Metal Gear Solid 5 map. It's kind of neato. It's really cool. But that's really it. That's all I got. I've just been playing more BioShock.
For me, I've been continuing my adventures through Xenoblade Chronicles, and working on this long ass video for the top 50, the poll results one, which everyone keeps still asking me about. And as far as I'm concerned,
yeah,
was Nan, before the arms reveal.
Yeah, Nan, why didn't you finish it faster, you slow asshole?
Actually, Nintendex, I just saw a reply to the Good Morning Source Gaming tweet. It's like, Smash poll results win, please.
Of course. Every time. I see it every goddamn day.
Here, I'm gonna fix that for you right now, Nan. I'm gonna don't worry, I'm gonna fix this up right, I'm gonna say, right now, hop in stream.
We're doing a live presentation
and then I'm gonna do eye emoji, and then tweet, and then done. It's settled.
Here we go.
Man. just whatever.
The winner was Gex.
whatever first draft you still have lying around on OpenOffice, which you should be using instead of Microsoft Word, just pick it up and just start reading it off right now. We'll wait. We have nothing else to talk. Nothing else happened this week. Just off the whole thing.
This is definitely the most important thing that's happened to the gaming industry this week.
This is the
you
first,
working on this video.
This is the first good reading Source Gaming. This is like the. Okay,
well, number 50, Knack.
Oh,
PlayStation's all-time classic, Knack.
Oh damn!
What's his catchphrase? What's his intro?
Knack attacks. Boom.
Good
there you
one.
go. Short, sweet, simple.
Number 49.
Number 49 was Dark Link.
Really?
No.
It's me.
Number 48, a Shadow Link. Not just any, but that.
Like you just gotta do like
boy.
from like 20 to 1 is just like different forms of Link.
Link.
Number 20,
younger Link.
Builder Mario. Number 19, Paper Mario. Number 18, the Mario from Mario Teaches Typing 2.
Number 5, Bob Hoskins.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Matthew Levenska, what have you been playing?
I've been playing nothing.
Very productive
all right,
week for
cool.
all of us.
Push, what have you been What have you been playing?
I've been working on some videos, though. Some videos will be coming.
Actually, Rivers brings up a good point. Did anyone unironically vote Paul McCartney in the Smash
yes,
poll?
he was on there. I think he got a single vote.
And it wasn't me! And it wasn't me!
I'm pretty sure it was Paul McCartney. It was definitely one of the Beatles.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, Paul McCartney voted for himself.
Oh, squiddly-doo, I'm gonna put my name in the Smash poll results. Real zinger. I hope they stream more Geist. and Push, have you played any video games?
I hate video games.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Yeah, what am I doing here?
This is a book podcast now. This thing.
You know what's funny? I did actually read a book this week.
Yes, it's very fun. It's very fun.
I most definitely spent more time listening to an audiobook this week than playing video games. That is an unironic truth. Go listen to Steve-O's memoir, Professional Idiot. It's very good. It's very eye-opening.
That sounds like it would be good.
Oh, it's so good. It's
like every interview I've
so
seen with Steve-O is really good. Actually.
Yeah, it's been a week, and yet that audiobook is like stuck with me because it's just so like it's visceral.
Ryo, did you vote for Paul McCartney?
Oh no.
I actually played Animal Crossing. That's the main game I played this week.
Oh yeah, I mean everyone's been playing Animal Crossing. I just didn't say anything about it because shaking trees is not a very interesting discussion.
I mean, I've actually dropped out of Animal Crossing. Yeah,
I dropped out.
My housemate's still playing it, but I'm not playing it anymore. I haven't opened my mailbox in a week.
I ran out of interesting things to do.
We still need to make our town 5-star. I just haven't had the time or bother to do it. Like, if I'm going to go there and play the Switch, I'm either playing Clubhouse Games now, or I'm trying to get a bit further in Xenoblade Chronicles, or I'm just browsing the eShop looking for cheap deals.
Yeah, I tried the demo for Clubhouse, and I didn't really care for it.
Depends what you want to play. Like, me and my friend have just learned how to play Mahjong and Hanafuda through it, and so we've just been playing that. Liquid and I played an hour of it for his review, and we've just played a bunch of random games and had some really, really funny games with Yacht Dice.
I kind of really want to get Yacht the Clubhouse Games because of all the stuff in it. Mm-hmm. I've been watching a few videos of it, including our review, which you should watch now. It seems like a very, very quality product, very good deal. I need that kind of guarantee that I'd have people to play it with.
Yeah, I think that's it. You have to have someone to play it with, and you have to be able to play it online. Surprisingly, local multiplayer is not that good because it forces you to use Joy-Con.
Ooh.
Then some games like card games, you obviously can't do it local play unless you all have a Switch of your own, because otherwise then you'd be able to see each other's hands, which means you're very limited if you've got the same Switch and you're trying to play it to games like Ludo and Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a bit.
Hey,
it's all right, but in an era where you can get where like so many other games like this let you go to a website and use your phone as a screen, like I don't see any reason Nintendo wouldn't have done that to support local multiplayer, especially when they have a Nintendo Switch app that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying cheap games on the sale, if you're in our Discord, or if you go to our Discord and you go to the Nintendo channel and check the pins, I've made a long ass list of all of the cool games that I approve of that are on sale.
Yeah, Colin's approved of games list. I was actually looking on the American store. I need to connect an account onto it in order to pay for anything. And at the moment, with the amount of times Nintendo have been getting hacked recently, I kind of don't want to associate any of my payment details, because I don't have to do that on the UK one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can just sign into my PayPal or put my card details down every time.
I mean, apparently I avoided
in the US one, I have to connect something.
You could buy the cards on Amazon. That's what I do.
Yeah,
could do, but I only just want like the one game.
Like, you could buy even the download code on Amazon for some cases.
That's true.
I'm currently making a review for it, but Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition on the Switch is $15, which is a really good price.
That is a good price.
And then don't you get like a steep discount on the others? If you
if you didn't get Devil May Cry 1 or 2, you get both of those for half off, which is cheaper than they are on sale, just by a few dollars, but still, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the
AI the Somnium Files is on down to $30. That's a good game.
I really enjoyed
that.
I will give like
La Mulana is $10 as well. That's definitely worth it for La Mulana. Absolutely. My review of La Mulana 2 is its way. It's been put to the side so I could focus on this video. But
like a super
high quality game.
A super duper abridged version of the game, like my approved games on sale list, would include the fact that like Metro Redux is like $16 per game. The first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead are like $3.74 each. The Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection is $20, and like Door Kicker's Action Squad is $9. Everyone's favorite game, Contra Rogue Corps, is $10. Absolute steal, banger of a video game. Friday the 13th is like $12.50. The deluxe edition of that game, Everyone Pretends Is Bad, Wolfenstein Youngblood, is $20. Dragon's Dogma is like $15. Ace Attorney Trilogy is $15. Screen Sheet Unplugged, probably like the most underrated local multiplayer game on the Switch, is $2.59. And
nice.
Valkyria Chronicles is $10. Like, go crazy, go nuts.
I might compare these to the UK one just for ease and see what's on there, because I took a very brief glance through that one. Apart from Voez, which is down to like $5, there wasn't much else on there that I didn't already own that I'd seen. Yeah. Maybe I'll just actually search up the games on this list on the UK one and see what their compare the prices are. No, La Mulana was on sale on the UK one to like £7.
I bet if everyone on staff bought Friday the 13th, we could repopulate that game. You only need like 8, like not even 8 people per match. Just like everyone on staff gets a copy. We all play a line at the same time. We'll probably like populate a lobby. We'll probably all get into the same game.
Hold on. Sorry, I just saw in the chat, Conduct Together is 1 cent. Absolutely have to buy that.
It's been like going on sale quite often. I picked it up like last time it was on sale for 1 cent.
Yeah, that game is so funny. I picked it up when it was on sale on the UK one, and me and my 3 housemates played it, and it's like you're basically, all 3 of you are controlling everything all at once simultaneously, and you're trying to get trains to pick up the people at the platforms and drop them off at other platforms while avoiding other trains that you can't control going around, and it's so fun. You're sort of sitting there like, okay, you do this, you control the train A, you control train B, I'm going to change all the tracks for it, but then train C comes in and one of us has to go, all right, I'm going to do this one as well, I'm doing this one. It's just really, really good local multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend Conduct Together. Oh.
So I guess that concludes those portions of the podcast.
Let's talk about the games that were revealed this week.
Holy
and why
shit!
Whoa.
Resident Evil 3 is already $35 and it came out 2 fucking months ago.
That's not that weird.
Capcom Games seem to drop.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I got RE7 for like $20 like 2 months after that game came out.
Huh.
Same thing with RE2. Those games go Capcom Games do not keep their MSRP very long.
I got RE2
drop
for like
quickly.
£10.
Yeah.
And it's also because they're selling a super epic bundle of RE2 and 3 make for like $60 together, which is actually really good. It's like pretty cool. It's pretty epic.
So shall we talk about the PS5?
Yeah, let's talk
event?
about the PlayStation 5 event.
Yeah, because you guys live reacted to it, but now it's been a few days, time to think about it, and Push and I obviously didn't. So we can just give our opinions of the whole thing. I've got a handy dandy list of all the games they showed off in order that they announced them. So of course, let's start with obviously the flagship one for PlayStation 5, the thing that they started it off. Yeah, the Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, it was just like one of the most like baffling things that they chose to do.
I really like how they only showed PlayStation 4 footage.
Yeah.
It was so confusing because like throughout the whole thing, showing off, like a show reel of PS4 games as part of it. And I was thinking, oh yeah, it makes sense, show off all the big games of the last gen. And it naturally goes into Grand Theft Auto 5, so you assume that's part of it. But then they just hold on GTA 5 for like a good 3 minutes. And it's like, why? What's the point in that?
Have you heard about this game before?
I just like I'll go into more detail about this later because I think ultimately I liked the PS5 event as a game showcase. But as a PlayStation 5 hype reel, I think it was kind of bad.
I think I know what you mean.
And it leaves me with a lot of questions about the console that Sony seemingly refuses to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And like right off the bat, GTA 5 for the thing is backwards compatible. What?
Yeah.
Can't I just put the PS4 disc into the PS5? Is this a new version of the system, of the game? Is it a separate new version? Is it an update for the PS4 version, like the Xbox One X enhancements? Why is it taking a year to be made? Isn't it just the Ultra settings from PC? What is going on? It's just, I got so many goddamn questions, and it's like, the entire, so much of this conference was front-loaded with okay, but what? Yeah, well,
it's a good segue into the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, which is the first one they showed off, which was also really confusing in its messaging. Mm-hmm. Because is this a new game? Is this a remaster of the original game with extra stuff? Is this a Lost Legacy type situation where it's based on the same engine, same
expansion?
Map? Yeah, standalone. Yeah, wasn't clear because everyone, when I saw it, I assumed it was just Spider-Man 2. They just gave it the subtitle Miles Morales, but then after that, everyone was like, "No, well, it's actually, an expanded version of 2018's game." And then some people saying it would come with 2018's game, and this would just be added on. But no, apparently it's actually Insomniac had to come out and say no, it's like a Lost Legacy type deal, where it's running in the same engine. I think it's probably the same map, but it's a standalone experience. Mm-hmm. And that was confusing as all heck. But Spider-Man's probably a good one. Spider-Man is 100% what they should have started on, because that's obviously such a hype game for the PS4. And I think a lot of people were sort of hoping for a sequel on PS5. And I think, is this one a launch title for PS5?
It says Holidays 2020.
And I'd assume it is. I think anything Holidays 2020 probably is.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing that was confusing about the whole presentation. It was hard to tell not all of these are launch titles. In fact, how many of these are even launch titles? Some of them had dates, some of them didn't have dates.
Yeah, they did
some of them were just really vague.
did the atypical Sony thing of just announcing game and then you just have no idea when the hell it's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be assumed because, like, a lot of those games are being made by developers who haven't made anything in, like, a few years. Like, it's pretty obvious that Horizon Zero Dawn, whatever the fuck they're calling it, Horizon 2 is coming sooner than later because, you know, Horizon Zero Dawn was in 2017, and it's now, like, 2020. So it makes sense that it's probably, like, next year or something, but it's like they just didn't put a year on it. They didn't put a release window on it.
Well, Horizon Forbidden West, and rather than me go through every single one of these, because some of them, I mean, I don't know. Do any of you guys care about Gran Turismo 7?
I thought you were gonna say, does anybody care about the scaly high school sim? Which resounding no, and that shouldn't have been in the conference.
I thought Goodbye Volcano High. I thought it earned its place.
No, it doesn't. It's a 2D game. You're trying to tell me about the future of video games
but it's like showing that like the
line art?
PlayStation 5 will have like a variety of games. Like they're supporting indie devs and like, you know. I think it was a good message.
I get why. Fair. I just think it's like not clear at all what sort of game that is. Like I'm assuming it's a point and click visual novel type game. It just looked like all cutscenes from it. And I mean, a lot of these trailers are just CGI cutscenes, but the case of Volcano High, it's really difficult to sort of get your head around what sort of game this is.
I mean, I think most of the indie games, if not all of the indie games they showed, looked good. I just didn't think they made for... I think they just made the entire middle third of that entire conference drop like a rock, because the whole conference went from like, because Sony's whole angle, right, is like, no, we don't want to do cross-gen because we think the graphics are important, the SSD is important, and it's just like, yeah, but like here's some PS3 looking games, and it's like, oh, really?
The indie game that impressed me the most, that also kind of, to me, it looked like the best game there, was Kina from Ember Lab.
Oh yeah.
They were a filmmaking company, but this is their first game, and I think that experience in making CGI short films helped make that trailer like a more exciting cinematic experience. But also, it didn't take away from the fact that still half of the trailer is the game, and it looks really good. It looks really interesting. It's also really funny to note that Ember Lab are the people who made the Terrible Fate Majora's Mask fan film. And the art direction is very close to the same. The score, same composer. Even the voice acting in the trailer was the same voice actor from that short film.
And the little glimpses of gameplay they've shown are kind of remotely Zelda-esque. Just like, it looks like they're almost putting like Z targeting in this game and everything.
It looks very Zelda-like. It has some like, I'm assuming it has some like real-time strategy elements with the little creatures you can command around.
Yeah.
But also it gave me some flashbacks to like some of the best parts of older Zelda games that were basically just one-time deal. Like the whole concept of restoring the forest by defeating evil, while that's done a lot in like cinema and stuff, it's never really done that much in video games because it's a very intensive thing. And that reminds me a lot of the time shift stones from Skyward Sword and how they could change the environment. And I'm wondering if that would like play into like puzzles or the gameplay in any way.
The one thing I was disappointed about that was in the Future Game Show yesterday, they actually had Kenna like they brought it up to have like a little like the developers talk about it for like an extended period of time. But the footage, they had no new footage. It was just like shots from the trailer repeated ad nauseum for like 2 minutes straight. So I was like, oh, which apparently that game's coming out this holiday too.
Yeah,
so
it's
I would,
coming out this year.
it is. It's
Yeah,
coming out
so,
this year.
So I
PS4,
would-
PS5, and Epic Games Store.
and PS4.
Yeah.
PS4 is the good one for me because Kenna, I was actually really interested in. It does look like it's Zelda, but it reminds me a lot of like those PS2 action games.
Okay.
Like the ones like Legacy of Kain, I think, and I don't want to say Tyler the Tasmanian Tiger, but the way the combat sort of works and how it looks reminds me a lot of that.
It reminds me a little bit of the first Jack game.
Yeah, Jack and Daxter are a example. That it's clearly not a platformer, but the way the combat looks in that game seems to me like I think the animations as well is like a cross between one of them, like The Hobbit on PS2, and then The Legend of Zelda. Which I'm all for because I used to like that style of game. Yeah, I'd be interested in having it come back, and it being on PS4 means I will probably actually get this.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. It's the one game that kind of made me just like completely wake up. Like I know these people who are making this.
My people, give it to me.
It's so bizarre because I cued into the fact immediately. I'm like, I remember that name, and then I hear the music. I'm like, wait a minute. Because like I've been hearing Theo Fenny, that's the composer. He's a fan remixer. He remixes a lot of Zelda songs. He did a few like Metroid remixes. I've been listening to his music for like over a decade at this point. So like I can recognize his style immediately. I'm like, it's so surreal finally hearing it in a game.
Yeah, Kenna was a good one. I think rather than go through order, I'm just going to pick out random games.
If we talked about every game announced, we'd be here all goddamn day.
Yeah, so that's why I'm going to pick specific ones. And let's talk because Push just mentioned it. Let's do Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Rift Apart.
I almost felt like they should have started with that one.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
This is the power of the PS5. Look at the SSD. Look how fast the loading times are between the worlds. Like they should have spent a little bit longer, I think, on Ratchet and Clank to like just like really like explain everything to people.
I think that's assuming that's all actual gameplay footage and wasn't just CGI.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Yeah,
because we all remember Final Fantasy Versus 13, which premiered with a completely CGI trailer that had like a fake game HUD on it.
I mean, I'll say this. I'll say this. If in the game they actually somehow work in a mechanic where you do that portal hopping like through the vastly different environments like they showed through the trailer, like almost like like imagine if it was like a level select feature, like you're flipping through the portals and you're just like in these vastly different locations at within a frame. If that's if that's a situation, bravo, that's super impressive. However, what made me go into like big, like think emoji mode was when they actually showed a gameplay demo and the portal feature was being used within the same environment and it was causing the frame rate to very clearly drop whenever that happened. And I was just like, Portal did this in 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, because like in the gameplay footage, they were just like going into different parts of that same level, like you said.
Yeah, which
behind enemies.
There was a few games that just had kind of jumpy frame rates in the conferences. And I get it, like some of these games are probably fairly early, but like Godfall is supposed to be a launch title and it looks like it runs worse than like the Outer Worlds on Switch. So
Godfall. It's a loot and slasher.
Yeah,
it's a looter slasher. It's a new genre.
It's totally not a ripoff of Warframe at all, you guys.
That game was like the first time in the presentation that like everyone on me I was watching was just like, oh, okay. Like everything else we were somewhat interested in, except maybe Ghostwire Tokyo was looking a bit bland.
I think I was saying this last night on Twitter, where I was saying like Godfall will probably be an okay game. It just seems like it has this unfortunate distinction that it has to be like the game to sell next gen, and it's like, and the developers probably didn't want that. They probably were just hoping to make a video game that people liked, but like it has to go through all the marketing nonsense of like next gen only, good graphics, it's a brand new experience, you can only buy it on new hardware, and it is not. It is dragging that game down. It is dragging what could have probably been an otherwise pretty good game, but it's just it's stinky. Godfall runs at 60 FPS. Watch the trailer officially uploaded. I've seen footage they've officially uploaded, not a trailer. Real, just unedited gameplay footage, and it looks like it runs like shit. They showed it off yesterday during the Future Game Show, and the performance was terrible. And that's not that can't be the stream. That is straight up the game just running bad. Like, damn.
Ryo asks, "What about Bugsnap?" That was
fun.
Sort of game. I'm trying to figure out.
Looks like a pretty like standard like stream let's play game.
Yeah.
But like, what sort of game is it? Do you you become what you eat? But is it like a village sim type game
Have
where
you
you've
ever
got
played Octodad?
I've played Octodad, but that's just a bunch of set pieces.
It's probably that.
All stuff. Looked like it would be something a bit different, but yeah, maybe it's like Octodad. Who knows? That was an interesting one, a strange one. One I was actually really happy about was Sackboy: A Big Adventure, because that is basically just Super Mario 3D World, but on PlayStation, and I'm all for that. Super Mario 3D World in 4 players is such a good time. Doing that again, and it's made by Sumo Digital, which is quite cool because they've done Snake Pass and the Sonic Racing games. Don't
they have like 20-something games in development or something ridiculous? Like
got some stupid amount of games in development.
Yeah.
This one looks fun. Now, what I'm curious about, I'm not expecting it because it's being made by Sumo and not the original people who did Little Big Planet. But whether or not it'll have any kind of level editor or anything, because that's what the series is sort of known for.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, but if it did, that would be really amazing.
I doubt it.
Side game, like a spin-off.
I doubt it because Media Molecules has Dreams, and that just came out, and that seems to be their Little Big Planet replacement.
It'd be weird to have a Little Big Planet game without being without having any kind of creative element in it whatsoever, other than I guess changing the way the Sackboys look.
They'll probably have like some sort of gimmick where like you have to like, in order to complete a level, you have to put like a sticker somewhere or something like that. Like they'll probably do something like that.
Some kind of.
I don't think it'll be like creation, or if it will, it'll be like super limited.
That's definitely possible. But speaking of changing up the way games at war, Astros Playroom was also another really cool game to show off. That's basically trying to be another Mario game, but it's not in VR, which is the first Astro game that's not in VR.
It's cool that it's a pack-in title. It just comes with the system.
Apparently,
oh, nice! I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a pack-in title, but it's also seemingly not like a full-fledged like sequel to Astrobot. It seems like it's more of a like a little tech demo showcase kind of thing, because they're calling it Astros Playroom, which is very similar to the Playroom, which was like also a pack-in title on the PS4 that used the camera and stuff. So, but it also is still like a little cutesy 3D platformer. So it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I really, really liked Astrobot. So I'm all for more games in the series. Make this their Super Mario. Expand this one out.
It also brings up another question about the PS5 hardware, but we'll talk about that later.
The VR aspect, right?
And
the
then
games to talk about.
those
The
Bethesda
Resident-
games look fucking cool.
Yeah, right. Resident Evil Village,
okay.
which the world's worst kept secret.
Yeah, like
the world's worst kept secret.
like as soon as that came up, like I was like, oh, that's Resident Evil, like because of the like, was it like a month ago?
Like it's been a little longer than that. I mean, I feel like maybe it was heard about a little longer than that, but then the logo and details was a month ago.
I've been playing so much Devil May Cry 5 that I just like recognized the RE engine immediately. So,
I recognize the way that piece of wood is rendered.
yeah. RE8 looks interesting. It's slightly alarming though, because there were very significant frame drops in that trailer.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
It couldn't handle chunky Chris.
Yeah, it's not even on it's not even going to be on Xbox One and PS4, which I guess makes enough sense because I think they're still going to try to target 60 FPS, and it looks significantly better than Resident Evil 7 did.
It looks
just
bigger than RE7, but I don't know looking better. But...
No, the character faces look miles better. There's this kind of like overblown, oversaturated, kind of like shiny way that the human faces looked in the original that makes everything like look just kind of off, because I guess they didn't exactly get the way that the skin shader should be down completely. But yeah, something about that game just looks kind of uncanny, but I don't feel that way with RE8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Werewolves.
Chris Redfield also looks better. He looks more like his original appearance. They like radically unit. Yeah, he's chunky.
He's slowly becoming like Mr. X. He's just getting closer and closer.
They're gonna make the meme come to life. He's gonna become the Stalker character. But yeah, Resident Evil 7 Chris looked really weird. They scanned in like a new model. They wanted to make him look more realistic. They used the guy who was the model for Kyle Hyde in the Hotel Dusk games, which that's a funny bit of trivia. But he doesn't look a thing like Chris, because what they've been doing for Chris was, since the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube, they've just been reusing that same model and slightly tweaking it and making it more higher polygon as the years went on.
I suppose.
But they couldn't get the RE6 Chris to look right in the RE engine, so they just went, fuck it, we're just going to scan some white dude and call him Chris Redfield. So I guess the feedback to that, the confusion, like, that's not Chris, and like there were conspiracy theories that it was not actually Chris Redfield, and there's like, no.
Oh yeah, that it was like a clone of Wesker, and like
that he was like a clone of Wesker.
Secretly Hunk. Secretly
that he was Hunk. Yeah. But yeah, they made him look more like actual Chris Redfield, which is really funny because in the trailer, I feel like they deliberately included Ethan yelling Chris's name just so people would know, yeah, he's Chris again. Don't worry about it.
To be fair, I think Capcom did the fuel of that fire with Resi 7 Chris.
Yeah.
I remember explicitly speaking with people at Capcom and them being like, oh, is it Chris? Is it not Chris? Maybe. You should play the game and find out.
You should play the DLC.
They put a sequence.
They were like,
knew what they were doing.
Oh my god, they were like cheekily hinting, maybe he's not Chris, he's a bad guy. The DLC is called Not a Hero, and it's just Chris losing all his men again, and that's why he's not a hero. That's like every fucking game. It's nothing new. Come on, Capcom.
I love how the RE8 trailer ends with just Chris Redfield returning in his Xbox Series X body build, and he's just unloading a magazine into Mia from RE7, and it's just like this really out of left field, but also kind of oddly cathartic thing, because Fuck Mia. She's like the worst character ever. She's like the
Ethan.
reason RE7 happened.
Ethan, I can't get Leon to continue the Redfield bloodline. But no, Chris, I'm married. Not anymore.
Someone needs to edit that so someone needs to edit that so the gunshots or the golden eye like
the blood thing down.
It's like pew.
Oh man.
So that's
actually been not to go completely off the rails, but like that's been the thing. Like there's been like quite a few horror games being shown off through all these conferences, and oh man, they look so fucking good. They look so good. I don't know. Did anyone see the new Remothered trailer? Looks great. That game looks awesome. Can't wait.
Don't buy it on Switch.
Yeah, it'll probably be terrible on Switch, but you know what? We'll see. We'll see.
Let's talk about some CGI only trailers and new IPs like Project Athia, Square Enix. That definitely I thought was Final Fantasy. Then I thought it was Tomb Raider, and then she just fired off some sort of energy blast, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what this is anymore.
That was so transparently like not real. Man, they're 2 for 2 revealing Luminous games with fake trailers.
I mean, if Project Athia is just a concept of what a game by Square, it could be pretty fun. Like, but it did look remarkably like, let's take Lara Croft and put her in like Final Fantasy, and just she's got energy now. This is it.
The thing about Project Athia is that I hear Gary Whitta is writing it, and that's the guy who wrote After Earth. So I don't really trust him with any kind of futuristic dystopian setting.
Right, okay. I forgot all about After Earth until now. I wish I had remained blissfully ignorant.
Yeah.
Oh, the game that does look better is Returnal. A new horror franchise that gave me tons of Dead Space vibes. I think maybe it's being made by people who worked on Dead Space.
Yeah, it's House Marquee's like
House Marquee
game. Yeah.
That one looked pretty good. I think that was the first one of show I was genuinely like, okay, actually, I would be interested in getting this one when it came out. Because like Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank are fine, but I'm not massively into either series. And Project Athia was whatever interest. Actually, no, I take that back. Sorry, because I'm just thinking of this. Stray was shown off before Returnal, I think. And Stray, I kind of was interested in, but I have no idea what it's. You play as a cat in a robot world where robots have class divide, I guess. I feel like this is a theme I've seen in many, many games at this point. In this one, you play it as a cat. It's infinitely better.
Another game that didn't have gameplay was Pragmata by Capcom, and it was so like ridiculous because while that trailer was playing on Twitter, stuff like Hideo Kojima Death Stranding were like trending, and it's just like, guys, you see that little girl? That's an anime girl. She wouldn't be in a Hideo Kojima game anymore. He only does realism now. But yeah, I realized that it wasn't a Hideo Kojima game like right away. It did not look like an RE Engine game though. But apparently it is. And it's made by Capcom, and it's so like early in development that the release date is 2022.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it looked very like, even though it's a cinematic, like it looked very early. Like it looked like
the hair physics were weird.
It looked like it was missing some visual polish.
It was in engine, but like it didn't have all the bells and whistles that I come to expect from the RE engine. Maybe that was on purpose. Maybe like I think maybe that girl is supposed to look kind of fake. Maybe, I don't know. We don't know.
I mean, I don't know anything about that. I'm just hesitant because of the last time Capcom sent one of their characters to the moon and they never got to come back.
I'm
on anything.
I'm hesitant. on this, but I think that might be Hideaki Itsuno's new game.
That's what everyone's like theorizing.
Yeah, because it would have started development last year if it's that far out from release. And also Itsuno, in the original draft for Dragon's Dogma's story, you were supposed to go to the moon. So maybe he's finally doing it. They're going to the moon.
Maybe.
I really want to know who's working on that. Itsuno started on his new project immediately after Devil May Cry 5 finished. It was like a month later. He was like, "Thank you all for playing Devil May Cry 5. I'm working on a new project. Here I am at lunch with my new team." And it's like, okay.
Okay then. Do you? Push, was there any game from the PS5 thing other than Horizon, which I think we'll talk about after this, that you wanted to bring up?
Deathloop?
Deathloop.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
It's awesome.
Oh, that looks great. I think both Ghostwire and Deathloop were like my jam.
Ghostwire was like, but like Deathloop caught my eye.
Yeah, I think I'm the same with Push. Ghostwire, I remember both of them being announced previously, and Ghostwire I saw and I was like, this looks very similar to a lot of stuff I've seen before. It doesn't look that interested.
Yeah, I'm
Deathloop
not too
looked pretty fun
about Ghostwire. It seems kind of and like when a creative lead leaves in the middle of development, that doesn't give me the best hope for the final game.
I mean, I'm still very, 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 very curious about like, because like the thing that I liked about the Ghostwire trailer was that Evil Within 1 is not that good of a video game, but like Evil Within 2 is like a step in the right direction, and that's because it went from being like because Evil Within 1 was just like, let's just do RE4 2. But Evil Within 2 is like, let's just turn this into like some surreal psychological horror. And then it just seems like Ghostwire is laying into that even harder with just like all these like crazy abstract visuals and everything. And that is super duper my jam. Like all of the visual elements and the art style of Ghostwire made me go like, holy shit, I am so down for whatever the hell this thing is. The combat looks a little weird. It looks very like, it almost looks like a first person brawler. Except you're using like ghostly powers. Can't believe it's Geist 2. But I think what will make or break that game is if they release like a 10-minute just like unedited gameplay section of it within like the next year or something. I think that will like actually sell more people on the game or not, because it'll basically like make what the game actually is a bit more apparent than the trailer, because it's very obvious they wanted the trailer to be super flashy, and whatever the hell was going on in that trailer doesn't really work too well when it's being like super cut like that. But Deathloop just looks like a fucking bop.
Yeah, Deathloop. I really like the aesthetic style of Deathloop.
I want to answer a question. Ghostwire is made by a Japanese team. Tango Gameworks is located in Japan. They are just owned by ZeniMax.
Yeah.
They are in Japan.
Isn't it still more or less like being led by Shinji Mikami? Like, doesn't he still have like a heavy role on that game?
He's the executive, like,
producer.
Yeah, executive producer on everything.
Was that Push?
Tango Gameworks is in Tokyo. Their headquarters is in Tokyo.
I thought I didn't realize it was Bethesda publishing it until actually I reached Deathloop, and then realized they were publishing that and that.
I remember because it was at the E3 conference last year that apparently I was the only one to like.
Is that when that was shown? Because I remembered it being shown off, and I remembered Deathloop being shown off, but I couldn't remember when.
Remember?
I just assumed it was an E3.
Wholesome Japanese woman memes?
Oh, was it that game?
Yeah, it was that game.
Oh. Was she the one who left the project?
Yes.
She's kind of like trying to pitch Okami to like Capcom.
Yes.
She should. Kami 2, when?
I mean,
but yeah,
Kami's busy right now.
Deathloop is a banger. It looks great. But the thing that really like peeved me about both of these games is that they're PS5 timed exclusives, which really has me thinking emoji. Because like, first off, they advertised those games last year as coming to next gen platforms. And I mean, I guess they're not wrong, but it is kind of weird that it's like, yeah, PS5 only for now. Though it also is coming to PC. I noticed that a lot. Like with the entire conference, it seemed like all the indie stuff that was that was cross generational. That was like PS4, PS5, and PC. But all of like the AAA third party stuff, with the exception of like NBA and Hitman, that are just straight up multi-platform games, and of course the first party one, it seemed like games like Stray and you know, the two Bethesda games were like timed exclusives, which is really making me like scratch my chinny chin chin here and wondering like, are they just paying devs not to make last generation versions of these games? Because I don't know about you, but like, Deathloop is a launch title, and it also doesn't really look better than any other game that's out right now. And I'm really like I'm really wondering if the fact that it's a timed exclusive, like that really does come off to me like they were making last generation versions and Sony just told them no because we really want to sell this new hardware. But I would be willing to bet money that when that game comes out on PC later this year at the same time, the minimum requirements are probably going to be the same as like Doom Eternal.
Okay. And I think that is probably true. I think that it is probably that Sony just wants to grab as much of a strong lineup as they can.
Yeah.
Have a really powerful launch. Because I think at the moment, with everything they showed off, they do have quite a strong lineup of games that look good.
Because I'm gonna be real, gamers.
Genres.
Because I'm gonna be real. This is like every point in the last like 30 minutes when I've been like critical of this conference, this is all like stuff that's just been brewing in my head ever since I watched it. Because I just have like because let's talk about the console, right? Can we talk about
Horizon? Can we talk about Horizon first,
all right.
just because that's the last thing, and I wanted to talk about it before going into the system itself. And how have you guys actually played Horizon Zero Dawn?
It's okay.
Have you guys
have a PS4?
Colin?
It's okay.
Okay. I thought Horizon was really good when I got to play it ago. But like I played it just after playing Breath of the Wild for the first time, and it was obviously had to compare the two of them. And I feel my stance is always that Breath of the Wild did the gameplay better, but I think Horizon did the story significantly better, and the way the beats are. And if the two actually could learn from each other, I think it would be really good. And just even though it's mostly CG, from the stuff we've seen of Horizon from that trailer, I feel like they've taken a lot of cues from Breath of the Wild, a mobility standpoint and a gameplay standpoint, which makes me think this could be one of the like best open world games out there. And it kind of makes me also hope that Breath of the Wild 2 does the reverse and takes a look at what Horizon did well and adapts on that, so that we can have two really, really good games to come out and then compete with each other in 2021.
Yeah, I would like
same genre again.
More emphasis on story.
Yeah, Horizon had a really good emphasis on the storyline, and it managed to give you the feeling of having a big open world with stuff to do, while also still having a narrative that went in made sense and could be tackled and interesting. Like you could, I think it balanced them both really, really well. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the better Sony exclusives on the platform. I mean, it's not an exclusive anymore, I suppose, because it's coming to PC now. With Forbidden West, you can make improvements on that, which it looks like they're doing with more mobility options and bigger giant robots that we could potentially ride. I think there's a lot of cool stuff we could be seeing there. So that's probably the game I'm most excited about from the whole conference. It looks really good. If with the game now coming to PC, like everyone should give it a try. If you can. Give it a try on your PCs.
I'm hoping that it's more my kind of open world game.
Yeah, I think it will be. You could Breath of the Wild wasn't quite yours, was it?
No, I don't really like games that just tell you, hey, make your own fun. We don't have like preset fun things for you to do. Yeah.
Horizon gives you a much more far more guidance while still being big enough.
Okay, so now
we can talk about the actual console itself. Go on.
Because here's the deal. Like earlier, I think between the two consoles, between the Series X and the PS5, for most of this year, I was, for the most part, on board with probably buying a PS5. And the reason being was because, like, I just got a 4K TV, and I got, like, a 1X this year, and I was like, ooh, video games look really good. You know what, this 4K thing isn't that big of a meme. It's actually kind of badass. And I was kind of like let down because I have a PS4 Pro and nothing runs on 4K in that thing. So like going from like my 1080p TV to a 4K TV with the Pro was actually almost a downgrade because everything just got like blurrier, which is like not what I expect. So I was like, you know what, like, you know, Sony usually does pretty good. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the PS4, but I do like, you know, a lot of the things that's been done with it. I think it has a decent library of games. I think it has, I mean, the VR stuff is like really well done. And it just kills me that, I mean, like, I don't, you know, I know there was like this big push throughout most of this year for both of these console manufacturers to announce everything about their consoles, like, way too early than they were supposed to. Like, people were already wondering what the price of the PS5 was in like February, even though it's like, no, they can wait until like the last few months to reveal that. Like, not having a price right now doesn't bother me. What does bother me is that between the two consoles, we know their specs, we know what they look like, we know their form factor, but software wise, we only know anything about the Series X. Like, we already know that because Microsoft has done this with the Xbox One X, where they're like, yeah, you take an Xbox One game, you pop it in the Xbox One X, game look prettier. It download a patch, Xbox One X enhanced, and they're doing this again with the Series X with the smart delivery, which is a stupid term, but yeah, I get it. They want to differentiate how games are going to be upgraded when you play on the next generation console. I mean, it's like a blanket statement. They haven't gone into a ton of detail about it, but they've said enough that developers have already been able to go, you know, the Cyberpunk developers, for example, have said, yeah, you put the Xbox One disc into your Series X, boom, it's the Series X version. It's like, there you go. That's it. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Why has Sony said nothing? Not just in regards to legacy software, because, like, what, I don't fucking care if I can't, you know, like, sure, I'm sure, like, it'll be able to play Bloodborne, you know, I'm not surprised about that, but what about games that are coming out now that are actually cross-generational? Like, Bugsnax is coming out on PS4 and PS5. If I buy the PS4 version of Bugsnax, what happens?
Are you stuck using only the PS4?
Is are there actually two different versions? Will buying the PS4 version net you both versions of the game? Is it how does this work, and why are they not explaining it? And this has just like accentuated for me, because where's VR? Like, is that compatible? Are there even VR games that I know from leaks and rumors that yeah, they are working on a new headset, but like, what about the one I already have? Do they really expect me to have both my PS4 Pro and my PS5 hooked up at the same time?
Yeah, that is a bit of a big ask, especially with how big PS5 is.
Yeah, exactly.
huge.
I want to put I'm going to slap an image into chat right here, because right after that conference, we all know what the thing looks like. I don't think we need to discuss how fucking stupid it looks.
Looks like a modem, a Virgin Media modem.
But the thing that really irks the shit out of me, so people started immediately doing size comparisons right away. Because you can take the disk drive, and like the disk drive on all consoles is not exactly the same size, but you know what is the same size? Discs. So it's not like, these drives are gonna vary in size super wildly. And also people have been using the USB ports, which is like some real like top tier like big brainery. And the thing is bigger than the original PS3.
Yeah.
It's bigger than let me repeat that. It is bigger than the biggest console ever sold.
I think what really bugs me about it, on top of its size, is like it looks really awkward when it's down on its side.
Yeah,
like because of the weird curvature shape, it looks like it's just fallen and can't get back up. And that kind of implies to me that they want it to be standing up tall, similar to how the Wii was. Except because it's so big, it's like having a computer box next to you, like a full PC case thing. Like, it's like how people were taking the piss out of the Xbox Series X for how it looked. PS5 looks like that, but more awkward.
See,
like it's been flattened.
At least the Series X. At least the Series X is only like wider than an Xbox One X, but it's not taller. It's the exact same height. And in fact, it's also not as long because it's a cube. It's not a rectangle. So like, if I like, so here's the dealio. Here's I have a stand. I have a TV stand. It's full of consoles. There's this row that has like the PS4 Pro, the original Xbox 360 with the HD DVD drive, and the Xbox One X. I can take out the One X and put in the Series X, no problem. There is enough space for that. I cannot fit the PS5 vertically because the PS3 fat does not fit in that row to begin with because the PS3 fat is over a foot tall, which there is like no media center in the world with a shelving that's over a foot tall. But Jesus Christ, this thing is like 14 and a half inches tall. Like, why? And of course, the idea is like, oh, well, you can lay it flat, which means, so it can take up more space. Which you also need a stand! You also need a stand to lay it horizontally!
It really doesn't look like it was intended to be laid horizontally, but then someone realized that they kind of had to have that as an option because that's how people already have their PS4s. That's how a lot of people did PS2s, even though that wasn't also meant. PS2 wasn't meant to be placed horizontally either. Its defaults.
Like shape alone, because the shape is stupid. I hate the wings. I hate that it's asymmetrical unless you get the digital version. All that stupid bullshit.
You talk about the digital version, how the disc drive is an absolute afterthought in the.
Yeah, but I just hate the goddamn fact that Sony straight up looked at the original Xbox One, the model that everyone hates because of how big of a VCR that thing was, and they went, yeah, but what if it was bigger?
It means good, right? It means better.
It means better.
The biggest fucking thing.
I will say that the iFixit teardown of this console is going to be really fascinating. I cannot wait to see someone rip this thing open and actually see like what it looks like on the inside.
It's so big.
I mean, maybe it's cooling. Maybe they just want this thing to be cooled because the PS4 and the Pro just look. They sound like they're jet engines taking off because the cooling in those were really kind of rough. But I don't know, guys.
To burst into flames like the big PS3.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's. Microsoft's really, at the very least, Microsoft isn't winning with games, but they're winning with the console design, because, hey, the One X is, like, quiet, and it's tiny. Look at that thing. It's puny.
Compared
to everything else, it's puny, except with the exception of the 360 Slim, because that's devil magic right there.
I'm wondering. I mean, this isn't related to Sony, obviously, but Microsoft. I'm surprised they didn't do conference like Sony's.
Well, they're doing one next week. Next
July.
week. Next,
are they?
next month.
Is it?
They're doing
are
like.
they? Okay.
I think it's like. It's weird because they haven't announced dates or anything, but it sounds like they're doing a first-party thing next month, and then in August they're doing like a third-party showcase.
I mean, that's fine. I think it just needs something to get people interested if it's still coming out this year. Because this is the thing, like, despite how the PS5 show sort of was with starting with GTA 5, not having as much details on the actual system as I would want, and also the system just looking like that. I think it was a good conference because it actually made me interested in getting a PS5. The games they were showing off there, and it looks like it's got a strong launch lineup, which is good because I don't think I felt that way about the PS4 or PS3. If the Xbox Series X, it wants to have a chance, probably needs to do the same thing as the PS5 did. Needs to have good launch ones, and the only one I know of on the Xbox Series X is Halo. So I think we need a bit more than that. And yeah, I saw that chat.
Yeah. Whatever. Fucking
right then.
enjoy your machine with no games for 2 years. Like, whatever. I don't. That's just been like my takeaway throughout this entire conference is just like, well, everything I actually want is coming to PC. I probably won't even have to upgrade my PC. It just seems to me like Sony, like it's to me it just feels like Sony is more almost trying to redo the PS4. Like, even though this thing is building off of the PlayStation 4, it's almost like they want you to forget like the PS4 ever existed. And as a consumer, I think that's bullshit because I don't want to. If this console is supposed to replace my PS4, I don't want to have to feel like I need to keep my PS4 hooked up.
Yeah,
I just
want it to be a full-out replacement, something where you can hand in your PS4 up the PS5 and lose nothing from it. That's not happening.
I mean, I figure the PS5 isn't going to play PT. Like, I'm going to have to keep the PS4 Pro in like a drawer or something just if I want to play PT. But like really, like nothing on VR, nothing on if all of these games I'm buying in the last year will be getting like Cool Boy Ultra like updates or if buying a game that's getting a PS5 version is either an upgrade or a separate purchase.
To be fair on at least the VR part of that, I can understand them not wanting to focus on VR in this presentation because it was very clearly a showcase for the launch titles and the software specifically. Like, apart from the very strange looking people who definitely were rendered in Unreal Engine 5.
But the thing is, I don't want them
between.
I don't want them to
the video game shows. It was like just a game software reveal.
I don't want them to. But here's the thing: I don't want them to give me like a 10-minute detail on how VR works.
Thank you, Spazzy, for the $1 bill.
Yeah. I'm not telling them to like, please take 10 minutes out of the conference to tell me how cool VR is. Like, I already know how cool it is. I played Half-Life Alyx. I just like it's everything I have to ask about the PS5 is a yes or no question. That's it. Will VR work? Yes. Will my old headset work? Yes or no? That's it. It's literally like summarized a bunch of yes or no questions. I don't see how these are nitpicks. These are legitimate questions I have about a thing they're trying to sell me for probably $550 or more.
Is that it? Okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah, all right, I get that.
They're trying to sell me on next gen with games that don't look very next gen, which I get because that's always the first 2 years of any generation. Which is why I think anyone bitching about Microsoft doing cross gen is stupid because it literally does not matter. You know, I whatever, but I'd be very okay with buying one at launch if they at least explained that, like, hey, maybe it's a better PS4. Because I'd be totally okay with buying a better PS4. That's why I own a Pro, and it's still not that much better, but it's getting there.
I think this
The
just
fucking
be
Last of Us 2 is next week, and all they've said is, yeah, it works.
What? I think this is just going to be. It's either because none of this is happening, which is obviously a big worry, or they just want to pace things out and announce VR at its own separate date and stuff. I do feel like,
I mean, yeah, I'm
Real
sure
at
in
the
like
beginning with all the PS4 games should have been their way of being like, it's backwards compatible with the PS4.
I'm sure in like 5 years, in 5 years, I'm sure in like 5 months, whoever is not listening to this podcast in October 2020 is gonna go, this Charlie Brown looking motherfucker is dummy, and he ended up being wrong on a lot of things. But I don't know, I just feel like these are really simple questions that they should just answer, because it doesn't require any like major explanation. If Microsoft was able to just go, yeah, smart delivery, then Sony should just be able to go, yeah, updates.
Yeah. Hey guys, I literally put that super chat in just because I wanted you to mention all of those exclusives, the actual exclusives, but it didn't go through with the super chat. Anyways, I'm going. Bye.
All right, I'll list them off. So, the PS5 exclusives, the ones that are actually exclusive and not or PC, are Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet and Clank, Eternal, Sackboy, Big Adventure, Destruction All-Stars, the Demon Souls remake, which we didn't bring up earlier, but looks really good, Astros Playroom, and Horizon 2, and that's it. Those are all the actual PS5 exclusives from the show. Which, I mean, yeah, they're all the Sony first-party IPs, and then all the third-party stuff are either multi-plat or on both.
And we only know when, 2 of them are coming.
Yeah, Spider-Man... Oh, no, we know Astro's a launch title, Spider-Man's a launch title.
Yep.
I think... Is Sackboy Big Adventure launch title, or is it early 2021?
I think it's 2021. I honestly don't remember if it had a year on it.
I feel like that and Gran Turismo 7 were close to it, but yeah, the rest I don't think had release dates or just 2021 ones. Yeah.
I don't know. The next generation. I mean, I've been around long enough to tell you that these console launches are just getting worse and worse. Especially considering the fact that this should have been the easiest generation to move into. Because we already, because somehow the Pro console concept worked. People own a PS4 Pro. People own an Xbox One X. This should have been the easiest. And it's just why? Why is this so goddamn hard?
Who knows?
I'm only saying all this stuff because I want to buy the goddamn thing. That's it. I don't understand why I can't criticize something I'm looking forward to. We shit on Nintendo all the time. So
any other thoughts then on the PS5 stuff from anyone, I guess, other than Colin, who's just ranted about it for the last 10 minutes?
Sony put out a statement this morning. PlayStation CEO says Sony is emphasizing value as opposed to price when it comes to the PS5. They're really gonna do it.
They're really gonna make it $600. They're really
they're gonna come out $599 US. Yeah.
Jesus, I feel like that. I almost wonder if that's why price hasn't been announced for either that or
there's an alternate
Xbox
timeline.
Series X.
There's an alternate timeline where Microsoft wasn't being led by Don Matrick in 2013, and Nintendo gave the Wii U a good CPU and a good name, and we wouldn't be in this situation. If those two consoles hadn't shot themselves in the foot so goddamn hard, we would not be in this situation. But we also wouldn't have the Switch, so I mean,
like I was saying, I'm wondering if neither of them were announcing their price because they both want to sort of try and undercut each other if they can.
Oh, they absolutely are. Sony straight up said they're not going to talk about their price until Microsoft will, and I don't know. I feel like Microsoft is just going to try to undercut Sony as possible because Microsoft has Bill Gates money and Sony doesn't. Like, Microsoft can probably afford to sell the Series X at a loss. I don't know about Sony.
Sony's been in like a weird financial state for a while.
I think like the entertainment division of Sony is making quite a bit of money though.
Yeah.
Yeah, their TVs and stuff started like making bank again.
Yeah.
I think their audio stuff has always done really well.
They're known for their audio.
Yeah, Sony Music's big.
Yeah, so I think like they're not hurting, but I think Microsoft is willing to undercut probably more because they want people to get onto the Xbox Live.
Yeah, and Game Pass and all that.
Yeah, that's their main goal, I think, right now.
And we still know nothing about Lockhart.
Well, all right. Well, then, any other, I guess that's all. Everything on the PlayStation 5 event that we could talk about. Which I suppose there's just
somebody wanted us to talk about the Demon Souls remake, but I don't really have an opinion on Demon Souls.
I mean, have any of you guys played Demon Souls?
Yeah.
No.
I played it, but I never. I know everyone I was watching it with was super excited about the fact that Demon Souls was getting a remake.
I mean, I'm glad that it's being put onto another platform and not being stuck on the George Foreman grill. Demon Souls is a good game, though I think most people would agree that Dark Souls 1 and like 3 and Bloodborne are much better.
I think
it's
like
it's a Blue Point remake, which means like they'll give, proper attention to like the layout of levels and stuff. Like they probably won't touch it too much. It just seems like it seems like the only thing that's kind of weird is that they're like redoing the art style a lot, where like environments that were supposed to look one way now look completely different, like they're almost in a completely different location, and that's a little weird. But otherwise, like, Blue Point has done a really good job of like preserving a game's design and all that, just making it look prettier. That's really about it. I think that's really all I have about that.
It's a little weird, the art direction they're going going for. The original game was very brown and very Bloom heavy, and I get that that's like just a 7th generation thing.
Yeah.
But they also made it like less uniform, utilitarian.
It looks
and
less.
They made it more like rustic and abandoned.
I was gonna say it looks less gothic and more medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it still looks really good. I hope it's.
I'm sure it'll be good. Blue Point.
I hope it's
has
good
not
for,
disappointed
all the people
yet.
who really like that game.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on Demon Souls?
I have not played the game, so it's like
fair enough. All right, well, let's shall we move on to the PC gaming show? Anything from there that might be worth talking about from it. I'll be totally honest. I don't think Push, you didn't watch it, and I think I gave up about halfway through.
Yeah, I'm looking over the list right now. And
Colin, do you want to talk about the epic failure that they did yesterday?
New Blood Interactive is a good company that makes good games. They made Dusk and a Medieval, and they're currently putting out Unfortunate Spacemen, which just got a release yesterday, and it's totally free to play. No, literally nothing. It's just free. Like, it's just a free co-op video game. They Maximum Action now in early access. Very cool. But they also have this game they're putting out called Gloomwood, and Gloomwood is like, as they describe it, is thief with guns. There is a running gag with New Blood Interactive where they like to buy like 15 URLs for each of their games. usually to describe what the game is, like their game Ultra Kill, they bought the URL Devil May Quake. I think Dusk's URL is like notfortnite.com.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Their company's website is wehate.money. Their game Faith is like Gary Loves You. It's really great. But they have this game coming out called Gloomwood, and it's clear like this is meant to be their next big game. They had like a new trailer lined up for it. They have a demo out on Steam. And the PC gaming show absolutely just fucking botched this, because they not only forgot to put the trailer in the game in the show, like it was supposed to have the New Blood Interactive segment and then play the trailer. It just didn't show up. But they also got the URL of the game wrong, where instead of thiefwithguns.com, it was thieveswithguns. It was not even thieves, it was thiefs, which is grammatically incorrect. Withguns.com. So two things happened. One, a New Blood Interactive fan actually bought the URL thiefswithguns.com and made like this whole like little blurb where it says, hey, the PC gaming show screwed up. Here's a link to the guy who made it, Twitter. Here's the new trailer. Here's the Steam page. Maybe check your marketing copy. And then the second thing they did, which is terrible, is that they shoved the trailer for the game that they forgot to put in at the very end of the show after the credits. And this is during a time that people thought that maybe the PC gaming show would end on a one more thing, I don't know, Bloodborne PC port. So imagine you're like a stupid, shallow idiot who has not a very wide variety in games, and you see like a Unity, thief-inspired kind of retro thing at the end of the show as the one more thing. It's terrible.
Yeah, I can see why that would piss people off.
Yeah.
So, anything else from the PC game show? Obviously, I think the one that everyone was sort of waiting for and knew already was Persona 4 Golden, which was the complete cock up in that it was revealed. It was leaked early, then the game launched on Steam as the PC game show started. Then they revealed it, and then it was only 5 minutes after they revealed it that people who actually apparently had it and were reviewing it were allowed to actually release their reviews. Completely baffling, backwards set of logic going on with all this. I had the chat up when I was watching PC Game Show, and the whole thing was literally just full of people there just waiting for Persona 4 Golden the whole fucking time. And hoping they would announce Persona 3, which really kind of shows target audience of these sorts of streams. Because no one else. I mean, the second that was done, it was just full of people being like, Persona 4's already out, we don't have to watch this, and then people just spamming Persona 4 spoilers. Chat, which is a dickhead move. Even if it is a game that's
all of the people watching these streams and typing in chat are just like children expecting GTA 6 to be announced any minute. Really, like, even if we haven't hit diminishing returns yet with like graphics in video games, with like video game expectations we certainly have, because everyone just expects every game
smash reveal.
Yeah, everyone just expects these like next generation, just like, oh, this is gonna be the next big, like, everyone's expecting like another No Man's Sky moment, when it's like, no, just play video games that are good regardless of how they look. Stinky.
Don't fall into marketing is the lesson.
Yeah. I'm just going to list off a few games that are on this list that I think might be worth talking about. Shadow Man Remastered. Did any of you play that? I feel like that's a game that you would have played, Colin.
The first Shadow Man. I have seen it. I haven't played it, but it's being done by the beautiful people at Night Dive, who have been doing like the Turok remasters, and they did Doom 64, and I believe they're also working on the Blade Runner Westwood and Rise of the Triad and Blood. So like that's very cool.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Shadowman's it's an interesting one to bring back. What I remember from it is that the guy on the front of the box looks like he was the same guy from Devil's Third. And he's holding a skull. That's basically all I remember from that game.
The new Mafia looks cool. The Mafia remake, Mafia 1 remake, looks neat.
Mafia remastered one. There was one game that looked really, really bad, and it was called Icarus.
Oh, yeah, that's the that's the Dean Hall survival crafting game. Because that's what we need. Another one of those.
Literally looked like worse version of, a realistic worse version of Minecraft with an oxygen meter, I guess. You'll run out of oxygen, which just brings up the question, why are you building log houses on a planet where you can run out of oxygen and die? I think that was my big takeaway. You got all these guys in like full space suits, like landing on this alien planet, really futuristic, like using wooden axes to build log cabins, a place where they can't actually breathe and will die if they spend too long there. What is the point in this? Like, why? I don't understand.
Thanks, Dean Hall.
It doesn't feel like, it feels like someone was like, we want to make a game like Minecraft but set it in space. What twist should we add to the game? Oh, maybe you can't stay on the planet for too long, so you have to leave after a certain amount of time. Oh, that's amazing. And then they just did all the basic bare bones crap to fulfill those points without thinking any of it through. And so it just looks really meh. And I know it's a free-to-play game, but still.
It looks so not anyone's jam. Especially after like a whole generation of games like that have come and gone, like Ark and Dust and stuff like that. Dust
next
or
one,
Rust,
yeah.
The
next one I want to bring up was Humankind, which had its open dev announcement. And I'm always really cautious of stuff like this ever since Mega Man Legends 3. We're going to let the community make the game for us. And just from the trailer, all I was thinking was this just feels like Civilization. But like, first, it felt to me like they were going, oh, we want to make a game like Civ, but we can't think of any reasons ourselves for why we can make a game like Civ that would be different from Civ. So let's just let the community decide, because then whenever we put in the game, we know it's something they wanted, even if it ends up being identical to Civ. It's just like, what's even the point in that? At that point, that's obviously, I'm just making my own headcanon for why this game exists, because I haven't seen any other information on it. But I'm always super cautious about community-made games.
2 subscribers that really piqued my 2 subscribers. What the fuck am I talking about? 2 announcements that really piqued my interest was Outlast Trials, which is the new Outlast game, which I'm down. People don't like Outlast 2. I don't know why. I think it's way better than the first game, and it seems like this one's trying to be like a co-op spooky Outlast game, which I think is super interesting. But the other was that Dwarf Fortress was coming to Steam and is getting graphics. And Dwarf Fortress is the most cult classic video game ever. It's this game that came out in 2004, and it's entirely ASCII art. But once you start playing it, it's this crazy rabbit hole of just you're here forever now.
Different things.
Yeah.
I think Dwarf Fortress was already announced. I only know this because that fantasy critic thing that me and my friends are doing, one of my friends put Dwarf Fortress down as a joke for Steam. I think we were already aware that it was something that was coming. We just hadn't seen it ever.
Yeah, because the game is updated so sporadically. And even when they were talking about it, there was no trailer, because there's no trailer for Dwarf Fortress. It was literally just the guy who made it just sitting at his computer and going, so we were just adding the graphics, and the artists are doing a really good job. It came off it was great. I loved it.
There were 3 really good games in a row right before I sort of signed off that interests me. Fae Tactics, which looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, spiritual successor. Kato, which looks like this cute little puzzle game where you have a hug button and you can hug a bear. And then Project Wingman, which just looks like Ace Combat, but like a new Ace Combat game. Those 3 all looked pretty good. I'm wondering, I mean, I haven't followed up on any of these, but I feel like at least Fae Tactics and Kato both seem like the type of games that will definitely be coming to Switch as well as PC.
I mean, I guess it's only a matter of time if they do, because I mean, even in the PC gaming show, like if something was coming to another platform, they were just saying, like, Xbox One.
Apparently, actually, it is confirmed for Switch. I just decided to Google it. So Nintendo Switch and Microsoft. It's also Humble Games. They've definitely been shooting up the ranks as an indie game publisher. Well, that's why those three are all published by Humble Games.
They started. They made like a whole new website for their publishing division this year and everything. Like they're going ham on that.
Yeah, because I remember wasn't the first one they did.
IGN, right?
Can you say it again, Push?
They got bought by IGN.
Yep.
Did they? Oh wow, yeah. I didn't know that. Interesting. I feel like wasn't A Hat in Time the first game they published?
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't they publish the game that was actually came out on Switch and I reviewed it for Source Gaming? It's like a guy singing.
Wonder Song.
Yeah. I think they published that as well.
Oh yeah, I think they did.
I'm just gonna have a look.
I'm pretty sure.
Apparently they published Temtem and one Day from Eden or whatever as well. I'm just One Step from Eden, which I know is... Yeah, they did publish Wonder Song. Hat in Time, Slay the Spire, Wonder Song, Forager, Temtem, One Step from Eden, Wildfire. Yeah, they've actually published a lot more than I realized. What else was there? What else is there that's worth talking about from PC Game Show? This is the problem. It was like... I felt like the presentation of it all seemed a bit too much. Maybe it was just coming from the PS5, where it was just literally game after game with very brief interlude. But PC Game Show, like, I just really didn't care for any of the skits they did in the middle. They put like focus on a specific games. Like Icarus got a big focus, and it probably didn't need to have one. Like the only one that I minded with the focus was the guys who did Dusk and Gloom. I can't remember the one we were talking about earlier. Yeah, because that was at least funny and interesting.
Well, those guys have like an actual personality. Like Dave Oshry is like both. Has always been like both a CEO marketing man, but also just like a personality. Follow him on Twitter. He's really funny. It's just like he's a really hilarious dude.
And the Ooblets is probably the only other game on this list that I interested in mentioning.
All I remember about that game is that the developers were like, "That's right, we're coming to Epic Game Store. Suck our..." Like they just like had this like a horrible like shitty attitude about it, where they were like, "If you don't like it, go do something better with your life." And it's just like it just backfired completely because everyone's just like, "All right, you greedy pieces of shit," you know.
Okay, but it wasn't in the presentation. That must have been something because
it was like months ago. It was like...
okay. But yeah, that game looked somewhat interesting. It's like some weird crossover between Harvest Moon and Pokemon.
Yeah, it looks
just
fine.
Some wants a connection. Yeah,
I don't know. The thing with these conferences is like with the games and everything. It's like I can't expect every game to interest me because like no one likes all video games, you know, like It's like there's just going to be like things that aren't your jam. Like I always liked the PC gaming show. I mean, let me take that back. I always hated the presentation of the PC gaming show. It's always the worst fucking one. But the game announcements have always been good, and that's because if you're a person who regularly plays games on PC, you probably like a very specific set of games that are very different from like someone who watches a PlayStation or Xbox conference or even a Nintendo conference likes. So, like, I don't understand why people go into the PC gaming show expecting like Mario 2 to be announced or whatever when it's like, no, like it's these are good announcements. Like, I know people who would like all of these games, even if they don't all appeal to me. Like, that's not the point.
Yeah, no, that's like PC Game Show is one that I never sort of watch, and the only reason we watched it this year was because it was one of the bigger ones. And I remember there was like one year, it might have been last year, that we watched it that was actually quite fun.
Yeah,
we watched it like kind of in the background. We were all in the same room. We commented on it afterwards because we only got about halfway through this, and then me and my friends decided to dip and go do something else. We were like, I think this is the first time we've ever just walked out of a conference during an E3 era type thing because we were so bored. Like
the PC ones, the presentation of those have always been really bad. It's like, especially when they were doing them live on a stage and they would just have the developer come out and talk for like 5 minutes. Like those are like genuinely the worst. But this year was better, but the skits did not help. I don't understand the skits.
Yeah. It almost felt parts of it felt like they had done it with E3.
Yeah.
Like they done it really early in advance for E3, and then E3 was obviously cancelled, and so they were like, well, we've done it now already, we'll just have to make a few changes here and there.
Yeah.
Go ahead with it anyway.
I liked how before the show started, they had a little like intro stream where they had all these like really cool game theme remixes, and you could just go on Bandcamp and download them for free. That's like very cool. That's very awesome. I have that on my phone now. Great.
All right, we got
yeah.
So you say what you were going to say, and then I'll.
I mean, I just generally liked all of the shows so far. I think like, you know, like all of them have moments where the pacing gets kind of off. Like the Future Game Show was actually surprisingly really good. It just had this like way too long segment in the middle about the future of video games, which was weird. But like, they've all been pretty comfy cozy, and they've all had stuff that I want to get. Like, there hasn't been one yet where I haven't... Like, there hasn't been one show yet where it doesn't have, like, a single game that I'm actually interested in. Like, all of them have had, like, a handful of games each that I've gone like, oh, you know what? I'm down.
Okay. I only really watched the the two that we talked about. I missed any others, but I'm interested. They're just too... I think the problem is they're too paced out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember E3 is always fun because it's like 5 straight days of excitement, and now it's 3 months of excitement. Like, I don't even know when the next show is.
It sucks.
It's just too far apart.
Like the Xbox conference last year was like 2.5 hours, and it was just like announcement. Like it was so jam packed. Like, there was so much shit shown off, and now it's like we've had 3 days of stuff. And then next week, there's just like a VR thing and an EA thing. And then the week after that, there's a bunch of stuff. And then there's like another week of nothing. And then there's like the Ubisoft. It's like, why? Why is it being spaced out over... I mean, I get it. Like, everyone's deadlines are all like fucky and weird. But it's just like, as someone who's sitting down and who just wants to, you know, be in the know, it's just like, oh, okay. I'll have to wait. Especially when like... some of these conferences are going over games that have already been shown off, like in the other shows. It's just
Oh well.
Yeah.
We've talked about the two things we're mainly to talk about. We got like 5-10 minutes until we usually start closing down. So I don't just because Nintendo we don't know at all what the heck they're even doing, because they're just gonna drop something like, I don't know if their E3 thing was the Paper Mario trailer from the 5-minute trailer that they dropped on Friday, and that's it.
I think they're gonna try to space apart their news.
Yeah. Well, That's what I wonder. What I'm wondering is, when do we think the ARMS character will be revealed, and when do we think the next piece of information we'll get from them will be? I totally get trying to pace out their stuff, and they had to do something for Paper Mario because it's coming out next month. They've got the Pokemon DLC comes out next week, and then ARMS is meant to be coming out in June at some point.
The Pokemon DLC comes out on the 15th, I think.
17th.
17th, okay.
Yeah.
So there's still like a 2-day period. There's like a 3-day period where they could announce it like this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I think it's either gonna be. You're gonna have to hear me out here. I think it's gonna be sometime within the next 15 days.
That's fair.
Okay. Sometime in June.
I have a feeling that the majority of the third-party showcases that they were going to do during whatever they were going to do for E3 are just going to be in the New Game Plus Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Grasshopper there. That's where No More Heroes 3 is going to be. Atlas is there. There's a chance it could be Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's probably just going to be Persona 5 Scramble, though.
Yeah.
But, the Capcom's there, too. They got a lot. It's a lot in that.
I mean, if they don't want to compete with anything, like either sometime this week after the Pokemon DLC, or at the end of the month, like in the final week, like on the 30th or something. If they otherwise don't really care, like they'll just do it fucking whenever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, they probably don't care.
It's kind of what they've been doing. When is the New Games Plus event?
That's on like the 23rd?
June 23rd.
Yeah.
23rd. Okay, that seems like it might be more exciting then. Someone
like
asked in the chat a lot.
Though.
Oh, wow. Someone asked in the chat earlier if we think the Sonic the Hedgehog new game is going to be revealed in New Games Plus thing, and I wasn't quite sure what it was.
Who
you don't think? I feel like they got to reveal it at some point, right?
It's supposed to be for this year.
I think so, unless it's been pushed back to next year just a little. But it was definitely meant to be this year at first.
They were supposed to be doing announcements like every first of the month, and that just did not pan out.
Yeah,
the 5 in Shin Megami Tensei 5 stands for 5G, greatest threat of our times. You know what? They should make a demon based off the 5G conspiracy. There's a chemtrail demon in the 4th game.
I can't believe Shin Megami Tensei 5 is just gonna be like a boomer, like Black Mirror type. Just like all technology is bad. Cell phones are the devil. Oh man, I kind of want to take a nap after that like PS5 rant I did earlier. That really like tuckered me out. That really saved my energy. I just like expelled every opinion I've ever had about a PlayStation console. Just right there. I can't believe we're going to be losing a couple more subscribers because I have questions.
We can begin closing this out then, if there's not much else. I mean, I forgot Pokemon. I didn't realize Pokemon was this week, which makes me feel like ARMS won't be until the following week because I can't see them both coming out at the same time. I could see it being the very end of June, which is fine by me because it gives me another week to make sure this video is good. I'm not rushing at the last minute.
I just want everybody to know that if Shin Megami Tensei 5 is at the New Game Plus Expo, that if a trailer drops, I will be doing an analysis the day of.
Live analysis, do it.
Matt's gonna be like out of breath and panting, and he's just gonna be like, all right, hear me out.
Listen, that's not even like a stretch. I screamed when it was revealed.
Oh, that is true. That is true. I hope Matt is like outside taking a walk, and then he's just like whispering, and you hear birds in the background. He's like, okay, so like this is me, just like hi mailman. All right, so this is me. Talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5.
And if people want to look at something else, though, in the meantime, Nintendo have just released a bunch more details on Deadly Premonition 2.
Hell yeah.
I just put in this chat, which is a game that, considering how little games are coming out, is a game that everyone should decide why not get. In fact, it's the first Deadly Premonition in the sales at the moment, because I feel like it should be.
It's almost like, and this is crazy, it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive.
Deadly Premonition 2.
And people really want those.
I can't believe there's a skateboarding minigame. This is a whole fucking skateboarding thing. It's like a pillar of the game, actually. It's not even a minigame.
Really it's in here. Through the Switch version of Deadly
rocks,
Premonition 1.
Falling, skateboarding, bio river rides. This is the sort of stuff I want to see in my Deadly Premonition games.
This is so great. Everything about this is perfect.
Yeah. Just, all it needs now is a Smash Bros. Spirit event comes out to really push that promotion. Warframe can get one, then.
Yeah, if it can Warframe.
Francis York Morgan in Smash, do it.
Hell yeah.
Same thing. They think this Pokemon DLC will have anything they didn't already reveal. I mean, I don't think they've revealed every Pokemon that's coming back, and maybe there'll be a few things towards like they haven't revealed how it's going to end.
I think that's just it.
But yeah. All right. I think that let's. I think this is a good time. Let's wrap this all up, shall we?
Hell yeah. Links in description. You know the dealio. You know how this goes. We put the links in the description, and then you click on them if you feel inclined to, and do all the various things that you have to do when you click on those various links.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. It helps us a lot.
And we want to thank all of you for joining us today in this holiest of mornings, Source Gaming. And
thank you for putting up with Colin screaming.
Yeah, yes. I am a screamer. I am that image from The Exorcist in a bad Flash game. And thank you to PushDustIn, who said all of 3 sentences today, because we kind of chewed him out a little too much. Give us a kiss, and have a good rest of the day.